Good day, guys, and welcome back to our channel. And first of all, we want to say thank you for subscribing, and please share and like, and let's spread the word. So first things first, this is going to be quite a exciting one, and just looking at the current markets, looking at some news, what is pushing the markets currently in the crypto space. And then we're going to be looking at some altcoins, some that we can ones to follow and ones to potentially look to buy. And then we're going to be finishing off and looking at our ILUS coin that we've been following over the past weeks. So guys, let's jump into the news. And Bitcoin, obviously, from my past videos, you might have seen that there has been a lot of talk with Bitcoin and these ETFs that's going about, and a lot of positive news, hence why we can see the markets moving the way they're moving. So let's jump into some of the news, and one that is pretty interesting that stood out on Cointelegraph. They were talking about what has been standing in the way of a pure Bitcoin ETF. Now, through the talks of the ETF, there was two companies that they were going to get approved. And an ETF is basically, you can trade like for instance, NASDAQ. You can trade the NASDAQ, which is made up of 100 companies. US companies, most of them tech companies, and you can trade that price. Okay, you're not investing and buying stocks in the companies, you're literally just trading the current price of NASDAQ. So that's basically what they're wanting to do with Bitcoin. They're wanting people and investors to be able to trade it without actually physically purchasing any coin, any Bitcoin. So this was quite, which I didn't even know about, that this ETF, it says that it was last week, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission approved a Bitcoin adjacent ETF, giving investors the opportunity to gain exposure to Bitcoin through stock markets. And the most recent acceptance was that of the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, which started trading on the New York Stock Exchange on 19th of October, all right, this month. So the talk that was leading up to this of the ETFs being approved, that was helping boost Bitcoin price, and people were seeing the positiveness, and I don't know how long it's going to last for. And something to point out where they're saying here, said that it is important to note that the aforementioned exchange traded funds are not pure crypto ETFs and merely track either crypto related company stocks or future contracts. So that is something to be interesting, and I think there's still that these regularities that they're wanting to do on cryptocurrency. That is also still fear, is might be hindering the process and actually going ahead with a pure Bitcoin ETF. It says that the problem with crypto is that there's still uncertainty among regulators about how to define Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So I think that is putting the damper on Bitcoin. So with that positive news leading up to approving the ETFs, we saw the push of Bitcoin, and now there seems to be a little bit of, well, it's not a pure ETF, a little bit of uncertainty, still talking about the regalities, and that there's still, we spoke about the US with the interest rates, they're not in a good position at the moment. So all of these are still in the back of the mind, that don't think that everything's just positive at the moment. There's a lot of the stuff that is still sticking there. It says the various financial regulatory agencies of the United States, for example, all have different, something conflicting views on what cryptocurrency are, especially when it comes to taxation and trading. And with the whole, as I mentioned, the interest rates, the US is not in a good state with the debt. They were talking about raising the debt ceiling on that, and all of that is definitely putting a hindrance on this. So another one on cryptonews.com, Bitcoin falls on second Bitcoin ETF goes live in the US. So it says here the price of Bitcoin fell Friday morning US time just as the second Bitcoin futures backed ETF, and it says their Valkyrie Bitcoin strategy with ticker BTF went live on Nasdaq Stock Exchange. So you can see there, since it went live, BTC started to fall. Now this news, and with these ETFs going live, I think people were seeing all this positivity and just thinking Bitcoin was just going to carry up, and everyone is talking about 100,000. I don't know. We'll have to just stick it out and see. We all jump on the charts now and have a look at what possibly could happen and where we will be sticking around. And if we do, where's the downfall? So it says here, meanwhile, the fallen price of Bitcoin also followed comments from US Federal Reserve Chair Powell Friday morning US time, where he said that inflation is well above target and the central bank is on track to begin our taper. Okay, so that is what we're talking about with the whole of the US, with the debt and the interest rates and the tapering, which is not good, okay, for the economy. And hence, along with this BTC ETF, because it's not a pure BTC ETF, they're going along, they're still stuck with the whole the US Fed and all those regularities. So we need to just not think it's all positive going ahead. And so yeah, very, very interesting news. I didn't know that it wasn't a pure ETF. So for now, let's keep that bit of news in mind. Still think about the US, the inflation, the bad debt. These aren't real pure BTC ETFs. So we mustn't think that all the news is just positive. Okay, we need to just trade lightly and invest lightly. So let's jump back onto the charts. And have a look at BTC, and we can see the last time we were on charts, price was hanging around these areas around 56, and we have now had that big surge with the news. But if we have a look at technicals, this is our all-time high right there, okay, and we can see that price has now rejected it. Okay, this is the weekly time frame. So if we have strong rejections on the higher time frame, it's more confluence, and we could potentially see if we hang around this area and we reject and stay below the 64,932, then we can most certainly see downside to at least the target of around 51,800. Okay, first stop. But if we stay around this zone and keep having big rejections, then the future targets that I've always been looking at, we could come back down to our 32 region and possibly even 20. Because you are having this rejection on the higher time frame, you're having this double resistance zone, and that could push BTC to these areas, okay, from this area and potentially even lower. So at the moment, tread lightly. I wouldn't be looking to invest and buy in at these highs as mentioned. Yes, price could push up and go higher, but we need to wait for confirmation. What happens? This trend currently now, as I have showed in my past, this trend is pushed up, and when price is like this, which it is sitting now, it generally needs to retrace to this area, and if we have this support, then we could possibly see price up. So at the moment, if I take this all off again, we have this that's played out, right? Price is pushed up, and we could have another pullback to these zones. If we do have that support, then possibly price could push up further. But for now, I would wait. Okay, we're up at a resistance zone. We have these two levels that we are now sitting at. That level, which is your high, and we are sitting in this zone. If we do not break these highs, then we most certainly could see price reject this area, come back down, and then seeing that play on BTC. So for now, I see downside movement, and that could potentially go back down to our 52,600 region for now. So that is my call on BTC. We have rejected all-time highs and have closed below there. We haven't broken up, showing that we've continued the bullish momentum. So BTC, let's hold off on that, but I'm seeing that we're going to be going lower. And if we're wanting to have a buy, then I want to be buying around this 48.52 region to see, do we have support? Yes, then we could possibly push up back up to our 68 zone. So for now, I'm going to hold off and just watch, especially with these news and the events that's going to be coming out in these few weeks. What is going to be happening with the US? The ETFs, yes, the news leading up to it was good, but they, as you can see, when that second ETF was launched, price dropped. So it's not looking very positive at the moment. So for now, I'm going to be staying out of that. The other altcoins, yes, they have caught up. Ethereum, on my analysis, we were sitting around here, and we can see that price didn't drop. We've had that structure. We created that push up. We rejected that as resistance, support, and price is now pushed up, and we are sitting again at all-time highs. What do? Well, we need to sit on our hands, and the reason is, if these are all-time high areas here, you can see that we have rejected. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Same as BTC, this is our all-time highs currently here, and we have now rejected these zones. Okay, yes, the push up, it followed BTC, but we at the highs. You don't buy at these highs. We will have to wait for either pullback, rejection, and then possibly up higher. But for now, if we reject this and we stay below these zones, we could definitely see ETH pull back further. So right now, sit on your hands. We're up at the highs. There's no point trying to jump in here unless, guys, you are day trading. Day trading, yes, you can be looking at catching the small pullbacks, buying back up to resistance levels. But that is looking at the chart on 4 hour, 1 hour, and catching these small pushes to the upside. That's if you're day trading. Yes, you can watch the charts. If you understand the charts and looking for these entries, you can get in, exit the when you come back up. So you're basically buying at these zones, and when price pulls back up to resistance, you're then taking your profits. Okay, but it's not for everybody. Day trading is more riskier because you need to understand where price is going to be moving. So for now, we're up at the highs. Let's just wait and see what happens. All right, if BTC starts to fall, the altcoins should follow. All right, XRP, it seems to be struggling. We have reached up to this 1.2 area. What could be happening? It could be building up, and we could see it break and have a push up to the highs, which we mentioned, up to around 1.3, 1.4. But it has been very slow. It's been, compared to Ethereum and BTC, it hasn't really moved that much. We can see it's just been going sideways. So either we are due for a big breakout to the top or bottom, but for now, we need to just stay on our hands. Price could go anywhere. If I delete that box and we look at the zone here where we've been ranging, price could break out of anywhere of this. If we break out, we could retest and have the push back up to these highs, back up to these zones here, or we could break out to the bottom and see it go lower. So I'm going to sit on my hands with the XRP. The price isn't really going anywhere right now, but if we do break out to the top, we are at a good point to actually get in the market. So maybe go in slowly with XRP because we are sitting at the bottom. We have a bit of support here, and if price does break out, we could then maybe catch that push to the upside. It hasn't caught up like Ethereum and BTC at the moment. So those are our three majors. I want to look at some altcoins. And the ones that I have been following, the first one is DOT. DOT has got a nice bullish push to the upside. The thing though, again, we are up at the highs, guys. When you want to be buying, you want to be buying at areas like this and catching that breakout past these highs. All right. At the moment, we're up at these resistance areas. We're up at these highs. Okay. So we want to wait. What happens? Do we have rejection here and pull back lower? If so, I would want to be buying anywhere around this zone. If we can stay above here, we could have the retest back to 37.50 and then possibly see another push up for DOT. Okay, but at the moment, waiting because we're at the highs. It most likely will be for most pairs currently. DOT, COTI is another one I've been watching. Same thing. We have this trend line that we've been sitting in. We've had the big break to the upside, so we've created the higher high. If we want to look for a buy, then we can see price looks like it most likely coming down to these areas, possibly this trend line, where we can see another push to the upside. So COTI is another one looking for a potential buy. Going to be following this one. We have broken up and closed above all-time highs, so this is our all-time high over here. And we can see we pushed and closed above, which is showing that prices want to go higher. So for now, if I just put my Fibonacci on these zones here, you can see these areas around 61, 71 is where I would want to get in for a buy. So COTI, going to be following that one. DOT as well, just waiting to see for that. Then there was Cardona, which is ADA USD. This one also is struggling to break out of this area. You can see my setup that I have and my trend lines. We are going sideways, but it is in a good zone to buy. So I would also go in this slowly, same like XRP, and wait for our breakup to the upside. So we're sitting in a boxed off area. And what I want to see is a breakout of this box, retest, and then we could possibly make our way back up to 2.8. So ADA, Cardona, if you go to CoinGecko, let's see here, CoinGecko.com, great website, and over here, Cardona, we can see, you can go click on it and see what it's about, what type of token it is, and yeah, it's looking that we could break out of the zone. If we do, then I'll be looking for that retest and then buy back up to 2.8. So Cardona, good one to follow. And the next one is Hex. Okay, Hex also, I was looking at these zones. We had the rejection bouncing off that support level over here, and we have finally broken it, which is what I wanted. I wanted the price to come lower. If we look at the weekly time frame, we can see we've had that strong push up, prices coming back down to these lows. We could hit this area here one more time, and very low. Okay, prices coming low. If we have this pull back to these zones, we could have a rejection, look for a breakout, retest, and then follow on for Hex. So good zone. I would like to get in with Hex. Great coin. It's been pushing up, doing huge numbers at the moment, but we can see we've had that rejection, pull back. Okay, guys, we're still bullish on a higher time frame. If you had to put your Fibonacci from these lows to these highs, we can see these are the areas where I would want to buy, and then see price come back up to these highs of around 0.60. So Hex, good one to follow. Watch that one for potential buy. ADA, I would probably most likely get in now. Luna was another one, and yeah, that was one also. For now, we sort of missed this buy. I would watch this one. And there was DOT. Yep, DOT pushed up. So again, I want to wait for it. Do we have a pullback? then possibly look at longs around 37.5. And then Coty as well, just going to follow this. I would like it to pull back slightly bit more, just break below this low, this area here, break below, and then start looking for longs on Coty. So a good one to follow: Coty, Cardona, DOT, and Hex is coming into a very, very, very good zone at the moment. So guys, those are my majors on cryptocurrencies. Again, Bitcoin, we're at the highs. We need to wait. The news with it and US is still there. The ETFs aren't that positive, it seems. So we need to hold off on BTC for now. We are at the highs. Ethereum, same, we're at the highs. Let's just wait on that. Ripple, though, we are going sideways. We could go in slowly there for a long. A little bit of investment because it could catch up and have that breakout first to the upside to about 1.3, 1.5 for XRP, and then have a look at these altcoins and follow them. Cardona, good one. I think Solana was another one that I missed. And we had that breakup, guys. I think we were watching this, and you can see my trend line. We were sitting around 160, and you can see we've had that push break up to the all-time high. So if you guys got in on the analysis that I posted on this, good stuff. But for now, either take profits out and wait. We're up at the highs, and we can see we've had one rejection, and look like we are closing below all-time highs at the moment. So Solana, very good one that if you missed that one, wait. But there is those other ones, Hex, that we need to follow. Hex, Cardona, Coty, and also DOT at the moment. I'll be following those. So guys, one more coin I want to look at, an ILUS coin we've been following for a few weeks, and price has now broken up. It is doing very, very, very well. And just my quick analysis on this coin, because behind this coin, guys, you need to go to iluscoin.com, have a look at the company behind it, and see what they're doing. You're investing and helping people, you're helping countries, you're investing in assets, okay? You are saving lives. You are actually investing, and the equipment is used to save lives. And if we have a look at this analysis, as mentioned again, we had that fake out to the downside. I wanted us to break our 0.3 level, which we did. And so we had that break above, okay? We are sitting back on it, but what we could possibly do is we have this small trend line over here. We could break this small trend line, okay, to the downside, and come back into this zone over here, right, which I see we haven't really tested. This middle zone, and my Fibonacci on this area as well. If I go from the high to the low, price could dip into this zone, okay? Price could dip into this area where I have this block before we have that push to the upside. So nothing to worry. It just means as we have that slightly deeper pullback, possibly to 0.26, if it does go there, I'm hoping it doesn't, because we are sitting above this area and we've broke out, we've retested this zone. So I'm hoping for a push from here back up to our 0.34 and then going higher, back up to our $1. So guys, we are very, very low. If we do get that pull back to 0.24, 0.26, just go in again, buy some more coin. This coin you do not want to sleep on. This is going to be doing wonders. And I think we're going to be going way over $1 very, very, very soon. So ILUS Coin, guys, go follow iluscoin.com. Have a look at their socials as well, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. and this company is doing wonders. Okay, ILUS International, ILUS Coin, and we've had that breakout like we wanted it, which is good. It's showing us the direction. We could, again, if we have the pullback, not to worry, we could possibly just retest our 0.25 again, where we could then have that bigger drive to the upside. But at the moment, our trend is shifting to the upside, and that's what we're wanting to see. We've had that strong push. So this zone here is like a void. It's a open price, which price needs to possibly come back in, trade back into this area here, and then see a push to the upside. So if we do, don't worry, we could have a push back down to these zones and then seeing a shift back up in price. Okay, and that's okay. That's what price needs to do. Not to worry, I would just go in even more. I would buy more coin the lower it goes back to these zones. But my target is definitely up, breaking these zones of 0.32 and going up to 0.4. We have the small resistance areas here, and we'll just follow it. First resistance level 0.36, so possibly down, retesting 0.25, and then seeing the shift back up to our 0.36 area. So guys, this coin, watch it, do not sleep on it, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys' comments and following it as well. So guys, please like and subscribe this channel. We'll be doing weekly videos every week, looking at our news, looking at our cryptos, possibly some new altcoins as well, what to get into, and hopefully get your money working for itself. So guys, I'll catch you next week, and happy trading.